Everything that's happened in the Tournament of Power has led to this very moment as we officially enter the final episode of 2017, ending the year off with a bang as the last remaining warriors of Universe 3 combine their powers in creating the ultimate multi-unit fighting competitor as we give birth to UnrealEntGaming as our heroes band together for one last battle before facing off against the last and considerably strongest universe in the Tournament of Power as we look to exit 2017 with a memorable battle. What is going on, Dragon Ball fans? Welcome to my Dragon Ball Super episode 121 review entitled All Out War: The Ultimate Quadruple Merger versus Universe 7's Full-Scale Attack as we end off 2017 going into 2018 with Dragon Ball Super episode 122, which kicks off and opens up the new year with Vegeta having to challenge Jiren and Dispo having to battle against Frieza, as we're not going to have any episode next week because of New Year's. So just in case you guys were wondering if Dragon Ball Super was going to premiere any sort of episode next Saturday/Sunday, we will not be getting any episode for December 30th/31st as it is the new year. So I do want to wish you guys a very happy holiday season. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's to everybody watching this video. I hope you guys have a very safe and very fun holiday season, as I'm very anxious and very excited to see what 2018 has in store for all of us. So again, happy holiday season to all of you guys out there watching this. And again, I do have a very special surprise by the end of this video, so I hope you guys tune all the way through to see exactly what that is, as this is the final episode. And what an episode this was. I am going to more or less break down the pros and the cons fully in my breakdown review following this video, so make sure you guys go ahead and check that out, as we are further going to pick apart this episode in both the pros and the cons. So I hope you guys sit back and enjoy. And again, if you guys are new to this channel and of course love Dragon Ball, consider punching that subscribe button, guys, and also click that bell icon. That way you guys can be notified whenever a brand new video is posted onto this channel and sent to you directly on your desktop or PC. Hashtag Dragon Ball Squad, as we bear witness to the debut of UnrealEntGaming in the Tournament of Power having to collide against Universe 7 as Dragon Ball Super episode 122 kicks off exactly where we left off, with Pepperoni having to jump in and combining his powers with the previous three robots and creating UnrealEntGaming. And the minute UnrealEntGaming made his debut in the tournament, he was huge and he looked very menacing based on his overall design. His aura was glowing, the bright purplish aura, and as soon as he began to power up, he then began to unleash an attack literally on everyone in the stage, including Universe 11, and finally we get to see Jiren actually move. He actually raised his hand up and deflected one of the attacks that UnrealEntGaming had created. So it really wasn't that big of a deal for them, because primarily enough, they weren't the ones being targeted, but the first person to actually make a move on UnrealEntGaming was Vegeta in his Super Saiyan form, and he easily, with complete ease, was able to deflect Vegeta's attack, and resulting in what was a very interesting showcase, because UnrealEntGaming, if anyone really thought that he was going to be fodder, basically had their statements shut down early on in this episode, because the way UnrealEntGaming moved for a gigantic warrior was very impressive. He was very fast, and he went on the offensive and striking down Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, and you know, he wasn't really a character that displayed any emotion via dialogue. He was all about action, even during one sequence where he went to go kick the androids, and he displayed so much force in his simple ability in just attacking, because every single one of his attacks created enough force to echo throughout the entire ring, considering how big he was. But it was at that given point, once the Universe 7 fighters had realized what they're up against, everyone began to transform. Gohan became Ultimate, Goku transformed into his God form, we saw 18, 17, and Vegeta all cycle together, and it was the way they all maneuvered with one another and helping each other out that I felt like really worked here, because at the exact same time, unlike how we saw previously in the tournament, we see everybody collectively, with the exception of Frieza, working together to fight this dude off, very similar to Hatchak. And what I really enjoyed about this was simultaneously how everybody was on the move collectively against him. UnrealEntGaming just swatted them all away as if they were flies. So being a gigantic character, and considering him fighting God Goku, which again, the power scaling in Super is super wonky, just considering where we're at now in terms of growth, was even able enough to give God Goku a run for his money. And what I really loved about UnrealEntGaming was every single time he was using his punches and trying to attack everyone, we saw the similar usage of how Merge Zamasu was attacking our fighters in the manga in having to use these dimensional-like attacks. And it was because of this that almost resulted in Goku having to be eliminated because Aniraza at some given point actually threw a punch that was strong enough to hit Goku almost out of the ring, and the person that made the save at that given point was none other than Frieza. Frieza saved Goku, which I think for me made the entire episode, because I wasn't expecting to see Frieza involved in the least. Considering who Frieza is and his hatred for Goku, the way Goku was considerably about to be wrung out, he flew across the ring, and just when you thought Goku was finished, Frieza comes from behind, he punches Goku back into the ring, Goku falls on down into the ground, and we see how final form Frieza is standing over him, considering that in the beginning, it was everybody working together but Frieza, and then during the middle portion of the episode is where Frieza jumped in, and I felt at that given point is what made the episode so enjoyable, because for the first time, I think, we see Frieza considerably looking after Goku's well-being in actually saving Goku from getting wrung out from the Tournament of Power, so that was very impressive to see in my opinion. But even then, as Goku's talking to Frieza, Aniraza is on the attack, and he's literally trying to grab everybody, even to the point where he grabs 18, and he looked like he was going to eat her, no pun intended. And as soon as she's falling into his mouth, Goku makes the save and saving 18. And that's the one thing I really enjoyed about this episode, was seeing how everybody was helping each other. It was very heroic for everyone to actually step in looking after each other, especially when Aniraza was beginning to unleash these barrage of attacks. And it was at that point where 18 is firing back, Frieza's firing back, even 17 had to put up his barrier just to protect himself from the onslaught of attacks that Aniraza was creating. And to sum up Aniraza, the best way I could, I would have to say it was reckless, because Aniraza kept firing at literally everybody he could, and what was very interesting to me at least was seeing how Android 18 had been eliminated in saving 17 in trying to sacrifice herself in keeping her brother in the tournament. And it was at that point, once 17 was using his barrier to hold back from Aniraza, we saw how, 18 jumped on in and she grabbed, 17 and kicking him back in the tournament stage. So Android 18 as a result is eliminated, but only by sacrificing herself to keep her brother in the stage. And I felt as if that was so cool to see. And this episode, if anything, was one of the better episodes in the last couple of weeks, because we saw how everybody collectively was working together in saving each other and firing back against Aniraza, and even to the point where Aniraza, to my surprise, grew wings. He actually grew wings, and as he was hovering over the tournament stage, he created like this massive ball of energy and forcing everybody, literally forcing everybody to use their full powers. That included Ultimate Gohan, Super Saiyan Blue Goku, Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta, Golden Frieza, and a full-powered Android 17, and collectively having to use all of their powers at once to push back Aniraza's attacks, which also meant that Gohan and Goku used the Kamehameha, Frieza used the Death Beam, Vegeta used this final flash. If anything, the final 10 minutes of this episode was one of the most intense moments that I've ever seen in the Tournament of Power, considering that, again, like I said, everybody was using their full power. And what I really enjoyed was seeing how enraged 17 was because his sister's gone, to see Frieza pursue his motives of winning this and helping Goku out, and seeing Vegeta get frustrated because of the power that Aniraza is creating. And even 17, what I loved about 17 about this was, as everyone is pushing back the blast, 17 actually used the barrier around his body to push back the blast even further. Now, it's kind of weird to me how Aniraza's blast was able to hold back and push back Blue Goku, Blue Vegeta, Golden Frieza, Ultimate Gohan, and 17. And it was really wacky to me to see how nobody was able just to concentrate their energy far enough in just, reversing that back at Aniraza. But what I really enjoyed was how 17 broke past Aniraza's attack, and he used like this energy barrier punch. He used this punch with all of his might to punch Unreal in his skull. Literally, the red diamond that was on his forehead, 17 had punched that, he cracked it, and it turned out that in some way, shape, or form, it looked like that was like the direct result of his power, because he was using that to push back this blast at our heroes, and that's when finally at the very end, everybody used their full powers in having to destroy Unreal. So it reminded me personally of your typical Dragon Ball film. Even though it wasn't a Dragon Ball movie, seeing everybody collectively use their powers together to push them back resulted in Universe 3 having to be completely erased, which openly leaves us with the remaining fighters of Universe 11 having to be the last ones remaining. So props to Unreal, because the way they built him up, he was stomping around the entire ring. He was just, you know, creating a mess out of everything, and that's what I really enjoyed, was seeing this big last hoorah from Unreal and seeing 18 sacrifice herself, seeing, you know, Frieza put his pride aside to help Goku was absolutely astonishing. And now the final 5 remaining for Universe 7 is Goku, Gohan, Vegeta, Android 17, and Frieza. And to sum this episode up the best way I can, it was an episode of redemption for 17 having to get revenge for his sister sacrificing herself for him. And then at the very end, what I really enjoyed was how Goku pretty much thanked Frieza for helping him, and everyone's staring at him, including Vegeta and Gohan. And at the very end, what I really liked about this was the fact that we see how Frieza looks on over, and he notices Toppo, he notices Dispo, he notices Jiren, and now our fighters take notice at the hardest hitting universe, that being Universe 11, as now we set up for Universe 11 having to square down against Universe number 7. And, you know, I wouldn't have asked for a better episode, because this episode to me was definitely better than last week's, even the weeks prior, in seeing everything I think culminate into this specific scene where everything they've busted their ass for in fighting Unreal came to a fulfillment, as now they take notice and aiming towards Universe 11. But in the end, what did you guys think about Dragon Ball Super episode 122, the final episode of 2017? I can't believe that we're finally here. The final episode is among us as we go into 2018 with Vegeta versus Jiren, Dispo versus Frieza. We're going to be kicking off 2018 with a bang. So as a personal message from me to all of you guys, thank you all so very much for supporting the channel. Thank you all so very much for your overwhelming love and support, for all of your gracious comments. I really do appreciate every single one of you from the bottom of my heart, and this is 100% real shit right now. You're not listening to the YouTuber UnrealEntGaming, you're listening to the creator, you're listening to the person Alex. So from the bottom of my heart, I wish you guys a very happy holiday season. Thank you all so very much. I love you guys. I love each and every single one of you guys for everything you've done for me this year. But the grind never stops. The road to breaking past 500 and 600,000 subscribers by 2018 continues. So I do want to say, guys, thank you all so much for watching. If you guys are new to the channel, punch that subscribe button, guys. Enable all notifications by clicking that bell icon. And if you guys haven't already, be sure to go ahead and check out my second and third channels, Unreal Network and Unreal Vlogs. As on Unreal Network, we are going to be doing movie discussions for Godzilla, various different animes, Halloween, Marvel movies, DC movies, all kinds of different movies, including Star Wars and many other things on that channel. The link will be located down in the description box, called Unreal Network. And of course, Unreal Vlogs is my daily vlog and workout channel, alongside motivational and scary story stuff on there. So be sure to go ahead and check it out. Thank you all so much for your support. What you guys are about to see now is a little preview to the newest podcast for the Inside Culture. I will also leave a link to that channel down below, as it is my official podcast channel. So once more, thank you all so very much. I hope you guys have a wonderful holiday season, and I'll be seeing you all down the comment section below. Have a great day, everybody. Peace.
You're like, oh shit.
Yeah, it was massive. It was incredibly
like,
looking.
I'm like, that looks like a Star Destroyer, but like on cocaine.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like that thing is tanked the hell out. God damn.
They cut that and they go into a separate direction to where it doesn't make sense for their character.
I get what you're saying, but just because something has flaws doesn't mean that you don't enjoy it.
Right? No,
you know. So anybody, and if that was the case, if someone says, "Yo, man, Dragon Ball Super's writing is garbage," that may be true. But you still fucking love that show, don't you?
Right.
You're still watching it every Saturday.
Or as opposed to some hate it, yeah, you're
right. Your profile picture on Twitter is fucking Goku. So
Yeah.
shut the hell up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Okay, that was stupid. And that shouldn't have happened because it made no sense. It made no sense for Goku's character. It made no sense for Vegeta's character. It made no sense plot-wise in terms of where they're going. In terms of power scaling is completely out the window with Dragon Ball Super, especially with, you know, the Tournament of Power.
And did you know that UnrealEntGaming was a woman?
And did you know that Devil Artemis is really a moose? Yeah.
Plot twist! Spoiler alert,
plot
don't tell
twist,
him!
yeah.
Plot twist!